What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
Today, we're gonna talk about sex workers. Let's talk
talk
about
about
sex
sex
workers.
workers.
Is that a Salt and Pepper song?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That was too long ago. Yes, it was a Salt and Pepper song. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I
Maybe you can
forgot the
answer
rest
that.
of the words because the song was back in the early 90s. Let's talk about sex. That's what we're going to do.
Workers.
Workers. Yeah, let's just slip that in there. All right, guys. We talking about sex workers. Lately, I've been really annoyed with the cosplay community talking shit about sex workers. All right, so before we go on to that, let's define what sex workers is. To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, sex workers out there, provocative modeling that can include like PG-13, wearing pasties, all the way to full-blown nudes, being a stripper, being a cam girl. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm getting at. You are selling your sexuality, for lack of better words. Specifically, when it comes to the cosplay community, this started with Patreon. And now it's OnlyFans. Honestly, I'm just getting tired of hearing people complain about it. But we'll get into all of that. Once upon a time, not long ago, the cosplay community used to really frown upon the sexual exploitations of cosplay.
Yep.
When someone would sexualize a character, let me take it back to someone that was one of the most villainized cosplayer for being sexy. We'll take it back to Jessica Nigiri's controversial Sexy Pikachu, where her yellows didn't match apparently, and people got mad about that. As y'all know, that was her viral moment that sparked her cosplay career. People used to paint her as the biggest villain of cosplay. People used to always get mad that she was sexualizing cosplay for her own benefit. It used to be so taboo to do any kind of sexy cosplays unless the character design was originally just sexy. People used to get so mad that you would take a character and do a sexy version of them. Fast forward to today, so many cosplayers have Patreons and OnlyFans, but now it's been acceptable. A lot of people don't understand the struggle that started all that.
Right.
As I said with the opening, I've been really annoyed with this topic. A lot of people are doing Patreons, OnlyFans, and they're offering sexy lewd content. But the one thing people don't talk about is who is consuming this product. People wouldn't be out there putting out lewd content for a premium price if there wasn't a consumer based. And what's funny is some of these same people are being hypocrites about it. I be seeing dudes complaining, oh, cosplay isn't the same. It's all about girls being sexy.
Right.
But who is paying for these girls to be sexy? I know you got the answer, Shauna.
Yeah. The same people who are saying, "Oh, you can't be out there doing that. I don't like that." It's like as soon as you see that price tag that says $5 to see me topless, you're gonna pay for that because it's $5, and you're the same person out here being protesting about, "Oh, you can't be on these channels, OnlyFans. You can't be out there naked, and you're in cosplay." And oh, what was you? You know, it's like, come on, seriously,
Yep.
seriously.
Let's take a step back. Cosplay is one of the rare nerd art forms that is being dominated by women. Women cosplayers are out there gaining all these support and all these followers. Why? Because a lot of the consumers in this nerd culture are men, the males of the community. They're consuming this sexy content. Why wouldn't someone who's trying to make a name for themselves in cosplay, for example, or trying to make money off of it, go down that route? They see what's working for other people. They see that men are the ones consuming this content. They're spending money on it. Step back. Let's pause. a lot of guys be out there, I don't pay for someone's Patreon. I don't pay for someone's OnlyFans. But yet you are still supporting this sex work culture. You may not realize it, but you are. Look at the people you may be following on Instagram. Look at who you're clicking like to. I'm not afraid to put my money on that it's someone sexy, someone you find attractive. Just because you're not spending money on their OnlyFans account, I bet you still click that like button. I bet you still hit share, or at the very least show your boys like, hey, oh, yo, check out this cosplayer. She's so hot. You're supporting that sex work culture.
Because let me throw it to you further. A lot of you guys out there like the fantasy of the whole thing, and you can't find normal girls to do that. So you tend to go towards and gravitate towards cosplayers, girls who are already doing that. Here it is on a silver platter. And what do? You pay for it. Because, of course, a lot of you want to see your little fantasy play out of Slave Leia and what she would have done.
Boom.
Would have done
Classic.
in the movies had it not been rated PG-13. And that's all I'm saying.
A lot of dudes out here having a hard enough time to get their long-term girlfriend to wear a sexy French maid outfit from Party City. And when you see your fantasy character, whether it be Slave Leia or Mrs. Doubtfire, I don't know what you're into, so I'm not going to judge, but I'm just saying. But when you see a sexy Mrs. Doubtfire, you quick to hit that like button.
And a lot of y'all, the same of y'all, are wishing for their nerd girlfriend, wishing that you had a girlfriend that could play video games with you and cosplay with you and cosplay for you, not even with you, for you. And
For you. Ooh, keywords.
You guys are the same people out there looking for that type of girl who would do those things. And there's a lot of us out there, but you will tend to gravitate towards those OnlyFans, and you will pay to see that person dress up as Slave Leia or whoever it is that you're
Mrs.
into.
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, and you will click to subscribe and pay money to see that because that's what you always want to see, and that's your fantasy. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you are the main ones paying for that. So why do we do it? Because you pay for it.
I'll be the first to say that there is nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're into,
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
There's a porn for everybody, for lack of better words. But what I'm having a problem with is these dudes, these consumers that want to talk shit. I be seeing these memes like, hey, fellas, what would you do if your girl was stepping out looking like this? And it's usually a picture of some girl looking sexy in a short dress or whatnot. First off, that just speaks so much insecurity about you as a man that you're concerned about what your girl's dressed as. Little dick energy much?
Okay, and then those same people are watching porn, and that person making the porn has a boyfriend somewhere, has a husband somewhere, probably has a family somewhere, and you're still watching that. You might not be paying for it, but you're still watching it. It's like that person could be someone's sister, someone's daughter, someone's wife, you know?
Oh, you have a problem that someone's out there making money off of this, but yet you are at home consuming this content.
Exactly.
As Shana said, you may not be paying for it, but you're still consuming it.
Yeah, you're still making it. You're still giving them a way to make their money. So you can't be mad.
Yeah, so like a lot of dudes be mad that cosplay has turned into a sexuality thing. But I think it was Stella Chu that really put me up on game. She said so much nerd culture, video games, comic books, D&D, what have you, has been run by men. Cosplay has been the first thing that women rule over right now. Why? It's because a lot of consumers of cosplay content are men. Men that want to see sexy girls. As much as they don't want to admit it, they ain't following girls that they think are ugly. They ain't following girls that think are busted. The cosplayers they're following are the hot girls. I know people that don't even know a damn thing about cosplay. I have coworkers that have shown me pictures of sexy girls that have a costume on. They may not be cosplayers, but they have come to me like, hey, do you know this girl? I saw her on Instagram and she's wearing a Harley Quinn costume.
Right.
People that aren't a part of the community, that's all they see are sexy girls, and that's what they think cosplay is. So of course you can't fault someone, man or a woman, who want to sell their sexuality. If they're an attractive person, you can't knock them for trying to make money off of it.
And me, as a regular person and a regular consumer, I'm not trying to put myself out there like that, but I notice when I take a little bit more off in my pictures, y'all like that kind of shit more than you like my, extravagant cosplay pieces that I've made from hand, mind you. You don't want to see that. I notice I get a little bit more likes and a little bit more love on the costumes and the pictures that I take, that I'm wearing a little bit less and being a little bit more scantily clad. So
Because a lot of people don't remember, Shana made a full ass War Machine Iron Man suit back in 2012.
Yeah. And
Full,
nobody cared.
Yep, full body of armor.
But as soon as I wore that Kill la Kill Ryoko to YomaCon that one year, y'all was all up and down on that. And even when I post those same pictures now, even though I cosplayed that so long ago, I notice I get a little bit more love for those than I do on something like Iron Man,
Yep.
Proof.
So,
Proof.
proof, exactly. So for y'all sex work consumers out there, y'all just gotta stop talking shit. Because without people putting their sex work out there, you would spend half the amount of time on the internet as you do. Let's be honest. Y'all out there looking for some sexy things to look at. On behalf of all the sex workers, you're welcome.
So let's talk about how sex work is not easy. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we talked about males being butthurt about it, but women too. Why are you out here saying things like, oh, I wish I could be a stripper. It looks so easy. I wish I could do that and make money and just not care about anybody. Sex work is not easy, and I can tell you from firsthand it's not, because first of all, you got to be a certain kind of person to be a stripper. Use that as an example.
Yeah.
I do not find it easy at all, because I've seen women, I know women who have done it before, and it takes a lot. It takes a certain kind of person to not only be naked out there, but to coordinate yourself while being naked and while getting undressed and stuff on a pole.
Yep.
And how many of you out there can say that you can dance on a pole and be coordinated and still look sexy while taking off your clothes, doing circus tricks on a pole?
Yeah, side note, why stripper pole fitness has become a thing is it is really physically demanding.
It is.
I tried to do some of these pole workouts at the peak of my prime fitness. Yeah, it's funny. I used to date someone that had a pole. I'll get into that later. But I try to do some of the things that they do. It takes a lot of upper body and core ab strength to do some of these pole tricks. Anyways, go on, Shana.
I will be honest. I used to work at a strip club, not as a stripper, but I was a waitress. And I used to talk to these girls. I used to see what they used to do on those poles. And you can be a stripper without being on the pole, but how you make your money is the theatrics, unfortunately. Yep. And you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to keep a straight face, get on the pole, get off the pole while you're naked, go talk to these people. That's how you make your money. It's not as easy as just putting on a striptease and then just being cute and running off stage. No. You gotta not only do some Olympic shit on a pole, but you have to also go off stage, talk to these people, get to know these people for them to want to book you for bigger things backstage, private dances, all that kind of stuff. So talking to these girls, they're so numb about it. They're just like, they know how much work goes into it because that's how they make their money. And for y'all out there, y'all bitches, for the lack of better words, out there thinking that it's so easy to do it, it's not, because 10 times out of 10, that's my coin. I'll coin that. Yeah. 10 times out of 10, y'all won't do half of those things, let alone all of those things. And imagine being a stripper from Monday to Friday, then Friday to Sunday. Like, they make their money doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
And half of those things y'all don't even want to do. You can't even fathom being on a pole. You can't even fathom taking off your bra or taking off your underwear. You can't do that. So don't look at these girls thinking like they're just nasty girls and that's just what they do. They just want to be nasty. No, it's hard work.
Some girls don't even like when a guy talks to them. They're not even hitting on them, but a guy can talk to them in public and they get so annoyed by it.
Yep.
Imagine that being your job, being forced to talk to these strangers, regardless of if you like anything about them or not. That's your well being. That's how you make money.
It's the art of speech, it's the art of conversation.
Just to piggyback off of what Shana was saying about strippers, I've dated a go-go dancer where her job was to entertain the audience, mostly men. I've also dated a stripper. Same job, but a couple steps further in the game. Nonetheless, a lot of the same things. They have to put on a show for the audience. Whether it be go-go or stripper, they still have to deal with men that only look at them as sex objects. Even dancing on stage as a go-go at a club, that was difficult for that girl.
Yeah.
Though there were rules set in place to where people know that these girls weren't strippers, the men that came to this club still looked at them as strippers. They would get off the stage and drunk guys would still try to slap them on their ass. Drunk guys would still follow them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
As Shana said, it takes a strong person to deal with that day after day. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. In the case of the go-go dancers, that's still a safety issue. These guys that don't know any better, especially guys that haven't been to strip clubs, they think it's one and the same. She used to come home to me and say, oh my God, another guy tried to pay me to sleep with him. This was the go-go dancer. This was what she had to deal with on a weekly basis. Let's move to the stripper that I dated. That was a nightly occurrence. A lot of the money that strippers make is from lap dances or private dances in the back room. A legit strip club will enforce no touching. Sometimes you go in the back room and the security will be right there while you give someone a private lap dance. So many times she would tell me, oh my God, guy still put his hands on me. Security had to rip him out the booth and throw him out the door. They know that is the rule, but they still do it. Did my girlfriend at the time stop giving lap dances? No, that's how she made her money.
Exactly.
Did she enjoy giving random men lap dances? No. She would come home and tell me, oh my God, this guy smelled so bad. This guy paid for a dance. And then the whole time I was grinding on him, he was telling me how he came straight from work. He just spent 12 hours at the factory and he hasn't gone home and showered and he came straight here.
Ugh.
So the physical aspect is just gross.
Yeah.
And then the mental aspect, she's been giving dudes dances who would complain about their wives while these things were happening. Sorry, a lot of you married people out there, a lot of strip club patrons are married men. That's their fantasy. That's their escape for whatever reason. Their wife isn't fulfilling what's going on or whatever. I'm not trying to blame anyone, but that is the reality.
That's why they go to these strip clubs, and that's what they cater to.
Yeah. My girl would come home and just tell me about all these things. I would just sit there and be like, okay, well, how much money you make? Well, I made a lot of money.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, putting up with all that stuff, the pay outweighs the torture sometimes. That's what they have to do.
Let's just debunk this whole stereotype, this whole negativity about strippers are out there just trying to steal your man.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. Let me chime on that really quick because
Okay.
I'm tired of these shallow girls out there who think because your man goes to a strip club that the stripper is trying to steal your man. What I meant earlier by it takes a strong person to do something like that in the first place is they're just trying to get the money. They're not trying to steal your man. Because if they wanted to do that, why would they be up in a strip club dealing with everybody else? And then when your man walks in, that's her opportunity to steal him. It's like, no, they're there to make money. And going back to when I used to be a waitress at one of these things, talking to these girls and witnessing firsthand, like, these girls, they do their thing, they go out there, dance, they're out there being pretty, they're out there doing this and that, whatever. They come backstage and go, "Oh, God, this guy just would not leave me alone. He would not stop asking me to give him my number. I just wanted to get him backstage so we can so I can do a private dance and
Yeah.
just to get the money." I'm just like, they don't care about your man. Trust me, they do not care about your man. And I'm just gonna throw all the shade. I'm gonna throw the whole damn
Damn,
forest.
do it. Do it.
Some of these boys, some of these men, y'all's men out here, ugly as shit. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Again, I've been there. I've seen it. I witnessed it. They are nobody that anybody wants to steal. The only one who loves them is you and they mama. Seriously. Let the strippers go. They don't want your man. Your man is in there for a reason, to spend money. That stripper is there to get said money. So don't be mad at them when they're just trying to do their job and just go home at the end of the day to their families, to their men. And, they're just trying to live their life. So you need to get off their backs.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all man's ugly anyway.
Ooh, damn.
I'm sorry. I was there. I saw it firsthand. I'm just like, you know what? Ain't none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of my business.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I'll take it a step further. As I said, I've dated a stripper. She invited me to go on a night she was working.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel it was necessary because I'm secure about myself. I know she ain't out there trying to steal no one's man. I know
Right.
my worth. I know that she ain't going to mess it up. Just for shits and giggles, I showed up with some people I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the dudes that spent money on her, and all I could see was dollar signs. I was like, she ain't gonna leave me for that dude. It was just funny to see some of her regulars. As Shauna said, he is fugly. Ain't nobody trying to steal him from no one. From the conversations that my ex used to tell me, this was their escape from home. They loved who they were with, but they just needed something else. And I'm sorry, but sex workers are sometimes what's keeping your relationship together. Not saying all these guys need to be physical with someone, but sometimes that fantasy that a sex worker offers them is like a mental vacation. It's just an escape. Sometimes it makes them feel appreciated. I've heard that from my ex as well. One of her regulars never actually wanted anything physical from her. After he paid for his first lap dance and they got to talk, every week after that, he would come pay for a private session just to talk to her. He would pay lap dance money at that club. I think it was like $35 a lap dance just to talk to her. Mind you, that's $35 a song. There'd be nights where he would drop $200 something just to talk to her at the bar. All he wanted to do was vent and feel appreciated. He felt that his wife got so used to him that she didn't find him sexy anymore. She didn't care about him. All she was there for was just to be his wife and be like, you paying the bills this week? He just wanted that escape. He didn't want to leave her. He didn't want a lap dance from this girl. He didn't want anything. He just wanted someone to talk to. So to some men, it was therapy.
Yeah.
At that same club, the highest earning girl, this girl pulled in $5,000 a month, right? Off of one client. She didn't give him one dance ever. All because of the same reason. This guy was a corporate VIP. He would stop in that town once a month. When he did, he would drop $5,000 on this one girl just because he wanted that escape, that mental vacation. These sex workers ain't out there trying to steal your man.
And you have to think about it in a bigger spectrum too. These strip clubs, you can't touch the strippers. You can't do anything physical with them anyway. Even if they go in the back room and do a private dance, those same guys cannot touch anybody, no matter how much money they're throwing at these girls. So you have to think about it too. Like the kind of people that go to these things, they're shallow anyway. They just want to be there just to see something, just to fulfill a fantasy, whatever. For you to be jealous of these girls, Let me let you know that right now. She does not want your man. She just wants to make her living and let it be that.
But on that note, though, before we get this in the comments, yes, I am aware that there are some very ratchet ass strip clubs
Oh, yeah.
where you can book out the champagne room and slip a girl an extra $50 and she might just give you some head. I'm not saying that's not out there either. That does exist in the world. I'm just saying most of the time that's not the case.
Yeah.
You need to check your man before you check the stripper. I wouldn't say all strip club patrons are shallow.
No.
Because in certain cities like Atlanta, for example, strip club culture is no different than bar culture. People go to strip clubs just to kick it because that's the only thing that's open.
Yeah.
Not like they there because they want to see strippers.
I mean, that's true too, because it wasn't until I moved here
Yeah.
to LA when I heard about people going to strip clubs as like an actual club, like
Yeah,
a
just to
dancing
kick
club.
it.
Yeah, just to kick it. Because I didn't think about that. Because where I'm from, Chicago, people don't just go to the strip clubs just to like hang out. They go
Yeah.
there just for sleazy reasons. But
Yeah.
here, they're just like, yeah, we went to the strip club, and like even girls.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard so many girls talk about going to a strip club than before when I moved here.
Oh, yeah. Like, I had some coworkers that used to go to strip clubs during lunch.
Yeah, and it's just a normal thing because they went to the buffalo wings,
The Buffalo Wings
special.
special, the $5 BLT.
Yeah,
And for those who know strip club culture, some of the day shift working girls are kind of like, yikes.
yeah.
She might have her baby on stage if you out in the middle of the country. But y'all know what I'm saying. Some of the day shift girls are kind of sketchy, got a baby on their hip. It's because ain't nobody going. But some of my coworkers have gone to strip club buffet lunches
Yeah.
just because they're like, hey, let's just go. Let's see what it's all about.
It's either like $5 per lunch or free if you pay in to get into the strip
Uh-huh.
club. But a lot of that is due to the culture of it, and people just go for the fun of it. I want to go. I haven't been this whole time. I've been here for 6 years now, and I have not gone to one single strip club. And as soon as COVID is over, I want to go there and I want to see what it's all about.
I wouldn't know how to feel about eating food at a strip club because some of these girls just be getting naked. I don't see myself eating like a
I ain't
BLT
said eating food.
or some chicken wings.
I said going to it. Seeing it.
Not gonna lie, when I was with one of my exes, she used to jump between clubs, just to make some extra money because some clubs feature new dancers.
Yeah.
And sometimes these new dancers make extra money, right?
Because they're new. There's something.
Yeah. It's like
It's like a gimmick.
the regulars see something new, so they're more prone to spend money. She had me take her to this new club, and I hung out during her shift. They were offering free pizza. It was like a Friday night, and they had free pizza.
Sign me up.
And I'm just,
Man, make it a taco night. Shit, I'll be there all night.
I'm just sitting there watching dudes eat Little Caesars as these girls are dancing on stage. I'm just like,
It's something to do.
yeah, it's like,
Something to do.
I mean, pizza and naked girls. I'm just like, that sounds like a good
and food.
time.
Entertainment and free food. What more could I want out of a Friday night?
I'm just in awe. These dudes right in the front row just eating a pizza with some girl's no square right in her face.
Shit, I'd be like, girl, I don't know what your name is, but give me some more free pizza. Let's just do this. Let's have a good night.
It's like, yeah. It was like,
Hey, let's do this next weekend. Yay.
hey, let's find a free pizza and strip club night. All right, let's bring it back to the cosplay community. Let's talk about Patreon and OnlyFans. Some girl had posted, oh, y'all want to talk shit about girls working on OnlyFans, right? Well, here's my statement from the last 6 months. This girl was pulling in $2,000 to $3,000 a month,
Wow.
showing people that this is a real job. I'm
Right.
making real money. I saw someone on my friends list talk all kinds of shit. Well, maybe I should just start OnlyFans then since it's so easy to make money. First off, bitch, to be that successful at Patreon or OnlyFans, you need to keep up with the content creation. People can subscribe to you for a month, look at everything you posted, and then the next month, if you don't come with something new, they can easily just unfollow, unsubscribe. Why would someone pay $10 a month for someone putting out one new set a month when there's girls out there putting one new set a week, maybe two new photo sets a week.
And to you shallow bitches out there saying that it's so easy, all you see is this person putting out nudes or this person doing sexy photo shoots and stuff like that. What you don't see is what they do behind the scenes, and that's maintaining their following. And that's whatever it comes to them talking to their fans, them replying to every single comment, them putting up with the people that will send them private DMs and stuff like that. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And what makes it not easy is because half of y'all won't do that. You won't take the time to get to know the people that are following you. And that's what some of these people out there are doing when they have $2,000 to show for, $3,000 to show for. They're doing the work behind the naked photos, behind the stuff that you see on the surface. They're not just doing that. They're talking to these people. They're making them feel acquainted. They're making them feel comfortable on their pages. And that's what you don't see. And that's what you're not supposed to see, because those people are paying for your time as well as what you put out there, like your naked photos and whatever. But all you want to see is their naked photos and think that it's so easy. Okay, then you do it. You do it and see how it goes. I challenge you. If you're in that TikTok world and you're in that Facebook challenge world, I challenge you then. Do it. See how far you get. See how much of the fanboys you can take. And then go from there. See how it goes.
That's a great point. A lot of people don't see the work that goes into maintaining a loyal customer base. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. You see some titties, you see some nipples, you see some no square. That ain't going to look any different next week. It takes a little more work to keep someone coming back every month.
Yep.
Some of y'all who want to be aspiring artists, whether it be trying to be a professional cosplayer, trying to be a professional model, y'all can't even keep up with putting out content on a regular basis. Sex work is no different. A lot of these people, men or women, doing OnlyFans, Patreons, they still have to fulfill a monthly requirement to their customers. They still have to put out a new photo set. Especially now during quarantine, people have to get creative and shoot their own photos.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of quote-unquote professional cosplayers, quote-unquote diehard cosplay fans that haven't even posted a selfie of a new cosplay since March when quarantine began. Yet some of these sex workers, some of these OnlyFans girls or what have you, have been consistently putting out new photos every week. That is putting in work. While the rest of the cosplay community is out there feeling sorry for themselves because they can't go to cons or what have you, these OnlyFans girls are not only planning out new shoots, they're buying new outfits, and they're taking the time to take these pictures of themselves because they can't get photographers to come do it. They're putting in the work. And that's what pisses me off when all these bitches want to be like, God, I'd be rich if I had an OnlyFans.
You don't know what the work they put into it. You don't know about that. You don't see it because that's not what they show.
And what's funny too, though, is I remember when Patreon first started taking off within the cosplay community. So many people were talking shit. Oh, that's not right. You trying to make money off of cosplay, blah, 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 blah,
Yawn.
blah. The same bullshit
Yawn.
we've been hearing, right? And then some of these same girls, year and a half later, 2 years later, now that OnlyFans came out, now that these sex workers that have paved the way, made it normal to make money off this stuff, all these same bitches all of a sudden got OnlyFans. I'm looking at them like, really, bitch? A year and a half ago, you was all on your soapbox talking shit about this person had a Patreon and this person had a Patreon. Now, all of a sudden, you got an OnlyFans. Take it a step further, these same girls who said it was so easy to sell sex and to be a sexy cosplayer they're now struggling with their OnlyFans account. Now they publicly asking for help. Any of y'all doing OnlyFans? What are you doing to keep people coming back every month?
One thing that I can say, they're not talking shit to their
Oh.
followers. They're not talking shit to other females. They're not doing what you're doing or what you did before you came with your OnlyFans. It's like, I'm sorry, but you're the same girls out there who were talking shit about these other girls making a living off of OnlyFans, and y'all are out there because you thought it was so easy that you're putting your OnlyFans out there and you're doing your stuff and whatever, and you can't figure it out. And now you're asking these same girls who are being successful, who are making their money, who do take the time to talk to their fans and whatnot that you don't see, mind you. And you're asking them for advice. The same girls you thought was trying to steal your ugly man.
Ooh, she brought that back to the ugly man syndrome.
I'll rest my case.
Bam. Court is adjourned. Another one. That is so true. And the funny thing is they dumb enough to be public on Facebook about it. I started OnlyFans. It's been 4 months and I only have 10 followers. I'm only making $40. Congratulations. You got naked for $40 a month.
And now you see the girl that was making $2,000 on there. Oh, how easy it was just a couple months ago before you started your own account.
These same girls that were talking all this shit about how easy it is to be a sex worker are struggling to be a sex worker themselves. Anyways, just to bring it back, some of the most successful Patreon people and OnlyFans people, the key to their success is they've been consistent with putting out content. Whatever they promise their customers, they deliver. And that is difficult.
It is.
It's hard enough to figure out what you're trying to wear for every shoot. Then you got to shoot it, edit the pictures, and put them out there on schedule. That's what makes the success. I can't even name off a handful of cosplayers that can put off weekly photo shoots. Hell, I do my own photo shoots. Between Shana and I, we can crank out a new cosplay every week, but we can't keep up with that weekly pressure. It's too much to make the cosplay and then shoot it. We've talked about Patreon. We've talked about OnlyFans. But let's just talk about just the one-on-one modeling aspect. Sometimes models do lingerie shoots. To some, that's considered sex work.
Yeah.
That's what either the client or the photographer's paying for.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've had experience with that, Shana.
A lot.
Speak on it.
Even girls just go as far as saying modeling is so easy. You don't know the work that goes into being a model. You think you just put on a nice dress, a nice coat or whatever, hold a cute purse and a cute hat, and that's your money right there. And with me personally, since we're on the subject of sex work, I've done lingerie modeling. I've done, not nude, I've done scantily clad, and you get paid for that, but you have to do that all the time. You can't just go to one photo shoot and just be set for life. No. You have to go to multiple photo shoots. I don't usually do nudity or anything of that sort or any kind of like major sex work, but I've done lingerie and stuff like that. My gripe is that people think that it's just so easy to just walk in, do these things, get paid, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've had days where from sun up to sundown, I went to job to job to job to job to job for an entire day. And that's what I did for an entire week. And that's what people don't get. It's like, you think it's so easy. I get to just be pretty and just get on print and whatever. You see the shoots come out week by week. That's not how it is when I do them. I just remember one day I had to do a lingerie shoot, a promotional shoot for a business. Then I went home, got showered again, went out again to do something else, and then I went from that job to somewhere else. And it was a whole thing. And I remember specifically one lingerie shoot where my photographer wanted to do something with lingerie. He went as far as booking out an entire hotel room suite. For this one shoot that I did. And then, mind you, this was at the end of my day. So he was a very respectable photographer. We did the shoot. And then he turned around and told me and was like, after our shoot, you can keep the hotel room. You have the hotel room to yourself. You can invite who you want. I'm out of here. After we're done with the shoot, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm out of your hair. Invite who you want. Just be respectful for the room because, like, you know, I did pay for this.
Yeah, it's under his name.
It's under his name. So he's like, you're a model. You're a beautiful girl. You do what you want. And he pretty much just gave me the keys. And I'm just like, okay, I guess. But that came from years and years of working with respectable people and word of mouth. I had to do my research with these people. I didn't have that handed down to me. It was work. It was a lot of work to get to that point because you do work with these sleazo photographers. You do work with these like obnoxious people, but it took me a long time to get that.
With that shoot in the hotel suite you just talked about, it was you and him.
Yeah.
A man can easily overpower a woman depending on the circumstances. You have to trust that he's not going to be a creep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the modeling industry, sex work, you don't know who your clients are all the time. Luckily, you did your research and you felt comfortable enough to be alone with him, but it could have turned out very differently.
Oh, yeah.
As we talked about in the last podcast about the sense of entitlement. He could have been a creepy cosplay photographer that felt, I spent $300 in this suite. I paid you a couple $100. You owe me this. And he could have easily have overstepped his boundaries. And for lack of better words, he could have tried to rape you. That's happened before, unfortunately, in some model shoots. You hear about those horror stories all the time.
Yeah. And the important point I wanted to make with this story was I had to work my way up to that. I had to work my way up to the good people, the good circle of people who were just trying to do their job as well as I'm just trying to do my job. But what y'all don't see is that these girls, these models that you want to put down, they're working their asses off and they're doing it very well to a point where they can have these photographers who are respected, that will respect you at the end of the day and just book these hotel suites and not want anything further from that. I worked myself to that point.
Yeah.
I weeded through all of the bad. I weeded through all the negative people that wanted to work with me. I did that for years. That took work. You have to work towards a certain stature.
I've had friends who've done paid, quote unquote, sexy shoots, right? They took these pictures, they got paid for it, but the photographer owns the rights to those photos and they sell them. A friend of mine had her picture show up on an advertisement for a strip club. She couldn't do anything about it. She did this shoot and gave the rights to the photographer. He sold her pictures to a strip club to be used for advertisement. So she was the face of that strip club. I had a friend, a guy, who took a picture for some just random photography studio, signed away his rights. They sold his picture onto some random stock photo site. He saw himself on a billboard for Family Medical Health.
Oh, wow.
He's like, what the hell? Is that me? And he's like, well, I guess I'm a model now. He didn't know. It was some up-and-coming photography company. Didn't read his contract.
Right.
He just thought he was getting free family photos. Within these modeling contracts, if the photographer owns the rights, they can sell that to whoever they want.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, you could be the face of a bowl of cereal, a strip club, a drug clinic, an oil change place. And these are all things you have to consider the risk for. Is the money worth all that? Back to what we're saying, sex work is not easy.
It's not.
It takes work to even establish a clientele. Then it takes even more work to maintain the clientele. And then you have to consider where your content's going to go. They used to say for a long time, don't do porn if you want to be a real actor. It's going to ruin your career. Thanks to Kim K, she kind of like debunked all that and she was able to make a success after her sex tape. But that's a rare case.
It is.
Sex workers are putting themselves out there at the gamble of what it may cost them later. We haven't even talked about how people view sex workers. I'm sure you can vouch for this. You recently posted a very sexual shoot for your birthday this past year.
Yeah.
You were in lingerie.
Yeah.
You had straight up booty and titties out. I'm sure your inbox blew up in a different way. I'm sure the comments came in a different way because people that just started following you that didn't know about your modeling life was just like, oh shit, I didn't know Shana was doing this.
Right. I'm no stranger to wearing next to nothing at conventions and wearing, skimpy cosplay and stuff like that. But when it comes to just normal lingerie stuff, I don't really do that anymore.
Well, it's different when you're sexy as a character.
You're right.
People pass it off as that's the character design.
Because, that's just who that character is. But, like, when I'm just wearing lingerie, it was different because I was in lingerie only. It was very tasteful, but those photos were different from what I've ever put out to the world.
Yeah.
At least recently, because my modeling pictures, no one really even sees anymore. But like when I did this shoot, it was different than what people are used to seeing when it comes to my cosplay and stuff like that. I did get a lot of different various comments about that kind of thing, and people were expecting that of me more often. I'm just like, you know what? If I do it, I do it. If I don't, whatever. But like,
I remember one of the comments being, "Oh, I've been waiting for you to do something like this."
I'm just like, you and who else?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm doing this shoot, and this is when you want to be interested. Like, what about this gives you the right to be like, hey, I wish I could see more of this. I wish I could do this. It's like,
and that itself comes with a level of work. I'm sure people hit you up and was like, "Oh, do you have a Patreon or an OnlyFans?" Because
I did that shoot, I noticed some photographers came up to me at conventions after that and was like, would you mind doing a bikini shoot? Would you mind doing this kind of shoot? Which I got a lot of that. And it was enough to where I'm just like, I wonder why this came up in conversation. I wonder why this is suddenly a thing. It's just like, if you can do that, can you do this for my shoots and my thing? It's like, oh, all of a sudden.
And that comes with that extra work we have been trying to emphasize. Now you have to deal with a whole new demographic of people. You dealt with all new photographer requests.
Yep.
Probably the same photographers you've seen at cons pass you up time after time. But now all of a sudden that you are willing to be in lingerie, they want to work with you.
I've seen these same photographers over and over again at every convention. I may be wearing something, they take a quick snapshot or whatever, but I've never had them come up to me and be like, hey, would you mind doing this? Would you mind doing that? It's like, and all of their ideas had something to do with some bikini or some lingerie. I'm just like, all of a sudden, really?
That in itself is work too. Now you have to decide how to approach these photographers going forward. You know they're going to feel butthurt if you say no, because if you continue to post sexy content, they're going to be like, why'd you say no to me? I saw you post another bathing suit shit.
It's not about what, it's about who you work with.
Yeah. So there's no easy way in or out of this. Once you finally build the confidence to do it, now you got to build the confidence to say no to people. I'm sure these people weren't trying to pay you, and they don't get that either. They're like, well, I got paid to do this. But then some people might be willing to pay you, but you still don't want to work with them. So these are other things that sex workers have to keep in mind too.
Put a price tag on it. For me, the Dirty 30 thing, I did that because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
When I used to do modeling, I did it because it was a part of the job and I got paid for it. But again, you got to think of what it is you're trying to sell, because once you start doing it, once you think that it's so easy that you could just throw your own self out there and do it, you got to make a price tag for yourself.
When it comes to branding, it definitely puts a shift in what your brand is representing.
Definitely.
If Johnson & Johnson's baby formula and diapers or whatever Johnson & Johnson sells starts selling lingerie, you'd be like, oh shit, I thought Johnson & Johnson only sold baby stuff. Now they're selling shit to help you make babies.
Exactly.
It changes who you are to the people looking at you.
Yeah.
Going back to the aftermath of all this, someone will see you posting these sexy pictures. Then they either A, think that you're easy, and they just start shooting their shots, spitting all this game like, "Hey, you want to hook up? No, I saw you being sexy during this shoot," and they just think that you're just trying to hook up with everybody. Or they see that you do this professionally, and they think that's their in. They try to trick you with the idea of they want to book you. Long story short, they never book you for anything, but that's their excuse to talk to you. I just saw some recently. My homie Panterona Cosplay post this. Panterona from
Love
Trinidad.
you so much.
Shout out to you, Queen. She posted something about why she doesn't like responding to her DMs. Someone reached out to her on some, "Hey, I've got this clothing line. Would you be interested in modeling?" It started all professional, right? As soon as she responded saying, "Hey, it depends on what you want to do and when, I might be interested." And then all of a sudden, the next comment was like, "You're so sexy. I don't know if I can be professional with you. I just can't help myself.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, but you are just so
What?
beautiful." When you post a sexy photo set and then shit like that happens, people that want to pretend they're going to book you just for an excuse to talk to you.
It got to a point to where these people just got so comfortable with me just talking to me through my DMs. And they would come to these events that I was at and just feel comfortable enough to grind up on me on the dance floor and just
Ooh.
be all over me. I'm just like, at what point did I say this was okay? You know?
Just to bring this podcast to a close, I want to say one more time, sex work is not easy. There's so much that goes into it that the rest of the world doesn't even think about. Before, during, and after, there's so many strings attached. I give it up to all my sex workers out there that can tolerate it.
Exactly.
All y'all out there talking all kinds of shit. Oh, it'd be easy to be a stripper. It'd be easy to be a cam girl. It'd be easy to be a dancer. It would be easy to be an OnlyFans girl. It'd be easy to have a Patreon. Then, bitch, you freaking do it. If it's that easy, then you do it.
You do it.
Don't be sitting there trying to hide behind your morals. I know y'all be thinking about it,
Yeah.
but you don't have it in you to deal with all of that. Even if it's something as innocent as being a go-go dancer in the club or a PG-13 model that models bathing suits. As soon as you put that energy out there on your social media, you have to deal with the consequences that comes with creeps, that comes with everyone that thinks you're just easy, whatever. As soon as you expose yourself in any kind of sexuality for hire, people think that they can just give you a certain amount of money and you're going to sleep with them.
And unless you're willing to deal with any of the things that we put out there in this video, sex work is not easy.
Give these sex workers their credit. I wish there was a different term than sex worker because
Yeah.
a lot of people are so ignorant out there. When they hear the word sex work, they think it's prostitution.
Right.
Prostitution is a whole different story. But sex work just means they're selling sexuality. It is not prostitution. For all you insecure bitches out there that think people are trying to steal your ugly ass man. Let's reemphasize that. Ain't no one trying to steal your ugly ass man through sex work.
No. Just put it in your mind right now that these people are not out there to get your man.
These bitches be dating guys who are dollar
Hundredaires.
menu heirs. No,
Dollar.
not even hundred heirs. They're dollar menu heirs, right? These dudes got part-time jobs, can't even pay for a car note. And yet they thinking that these girls making thousands of dollars in sex work trying to steal their man. This dude can't even afford to subscribe to them every month. She ain't trying to steal your lame ass man. Get the hell out of here. That's what I'm trying to say.
I like that better.
You ugly, he ugly. Ain't no one trying to break up your relationship. I slapped the shit out of my leg just to say that. You ugly, he ugly. Ain't no one trying to steal your man. Ain't trying to mess up your miserable relationship. Let's just say that right now. All right. Dollar millionaires. That's just the honest truth. They ain't trying to worry about part-time Pat trying to cheat on basic bitch Betty. They got money to make. They got real life issues. I'm done talking my shit. Another deep conversation, but I'm glad we had it, especially during quarantine. A bunch of people out there doing OnlyFans, men and women. Anyways, one quick note before we forget. Shauna said it at the beginning of the podcast. The Shinobi Squad podcast is moving to its own YouTube channel, conveniently named the Shinobi Squad podcast. If y'all enjoying this content, make sure you subscribe to the new YouTube channel, Shinobi Squad podcast. As soon as we catch up with posting all the previous episodes onto the new channel, all the new episodes will debut on that channel. So we only got a couple weeks left. I'm trying to give y'all time to subscribe to the new channel so y'all don't miss out on this content. Shinobi Squad Podcast YouTube channel. I'm getting hungry. I know you're starving because you're always hungry.
I'm always hungry.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. Thank you, my kitty Yue, for finally joining us at the very end. If y'all can't see her, here she is. I'm Fanservice Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella. Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys next week.